so much for staying with us. Welcome back to the program. You're watching Morning Cafe. Being a Wednesday, we're talking matters relationship. And the question you're asking this morning is your phone hurting your relationship? And you're talking about that endless scrolling. Is it robbing your partner of real connection, or you denying your partner of, say, quality time? And you're going to also get into what quality time really is, if that just being there is quality time enough. And with me in studio, we have Richard Ziwa, Zimbalist, a counselor, and of course, Jane Gitawa, a psychologist, to help us, talk about these issues relationship-wise. Karibuni sana, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have you again.
Thank you.
All right, Jane, I just want to start with you. What is the psychological power of a phone, really? If we just start from that point, we're just looking at it as a cell phone, but it looks like it has a deeper meaning and the impacts that it has to it, to, real-time connection, and goes even deeper into, intimate relationships. So what is that psychological power that, these cell phones have on our relationships?
Yeah, thank you so much. It has a lot of power in the sense that it creates emotional disconnection. You see, when, for example, I am with you as a friend, or when you marry me, you expect me to be there for you. And so you realize that phone will deny the other person the presence. And in the presence, what I mean is that you can be there, but not there. You're just there physically, but you're so much detached. And so phone can really deny the other party that particular thing. And also the courage to communicate. For example, you realize that people are hiding behind phone. You want, for example, to talk to me, or maybe you've wronged me. You don't have the courage to say sorry to me, but you want to do it on phone. So after you have even done it on phone, if that very person faced you and asked you, so what do you feel about this? You won't still say sorry. So you see, people are hiding behind the phone. And so that is a psychological implication of the phone.
Somebody going there and ChatGTP and saying, help me apologize to my wife for 1, 2, 3. Is that what you really mean by, people hiding behind these phones? Because I've been scrolling through TikTok and I've seen such, such posts of people just exposing how their partners, they went on ChatGTP, wrote something like that, then even forgot to remove a recommendation by ChatGTP that it gives sometimes Apple Chini, and then they send it like that. Is that the hiding that you're talking about, that form of hiding?
Yeah, because you see, like, if you hurt me, you don't need a team to assist you to say sorry to me. Of course, you don't explain fully to the ChatGPT exactly what you did to that person. You see? So you just tell them, how can I say, for example, you can ask, how can I say sorry to my husband after doing what? Yeah. So you don't, it cannot feel your emotion. But I'll feel your emotion. For example, let's say you've hurt me. I know you know the weight of whatever you did. So when you're saying sorry, I'll understand because I'm able to see you. Like, for example, if you're saying sorry over the phone, I cannot see the body language because you could be saying sorry, yet you're laughing, But when you're saying you face me and you tell me sorry, I'm actually able to see that you're remorseful. And I can be able to accept that sorry. But when you just say sorry over the phone, like let's say you in the morning, you have woken up with your husband, and then you go to work and I go to work. You didn't say sorry. We even probably drove together. You didn't say sorry all along. But when you get to work, you have the courage to write to me a message. And of course, it's like even when you come in the evening, you expect me to respond to you just because you wrote a message, sorry. Why didn't you tell me sorry physically? Because I also want to read your emotions. I also want to read your body language, because that's what makes sense to me. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, Richard, the question of the day is your phone hurting your relationship? And is it really hurting relationships? Because sometimes, growing up in an African household, sometimes you tell your parent that, oh, ma'am, leo macho inauma. And then they say, it's that phone. They say, my stomach hurts. They say, it's that phone. And then they say, oh, my partner and I, we are going through 1, 2, 3. And then somebody will say, it's that phone. So are these phones really hurting our relationships?
There are pros and cons against it. But I think when you look at the primary subject of the phone, it's to enhance communication. That's the heartbeat of the phone in itself. The phone in itself as a device has no problem. But the use of it is where you can derive whether it is enhancing your communication or take the detraction for your ability to enhance your communication with those that you love and care for. One of the things that I've seen in my own experience, let me give a real practical experience with what I've just experienced this morning. I was leaving home, taking my daughter to school, and had finished to prepare them breakfast because I'm an early riser, so I prepared the breakfast, and then I left the boys sleeping, and my daughter came to hug me, and my wife, I called her to join in the hug. So I hugged her, kissed my baby, went with this one to the car, and we drove off. It is naturally easier if you're afraid to be affectionate to your spouse to send a text and say, baby, I love you. But it's a different expression altogether when you do it directly with the people who are involved in the relationship. And every one of us, we all love the power of a touch. But if you run to your phone and you're constantly fondling your phone instead of fondling your wife, there's a problem right there.
Yeah.
If your commitment to talk intimate things with your wife is taken to the phone than looking to her in the eyes, strange. You're in the same house, but you're talking through phone and text. There's a problem there. The phone shouldn't substitute the primary. The primary should be, there's a natural symbiotic way with which you're supposed to talk to the ones that you love, your wife, your children, your extended family members. If they are far, the phone becomes an easy use as a tool. If there are people that you really need to reach out to, the phone enhances that. But the trouble is, we have neglected the ones we have close proxy with, and we are constantly entertaining those who are not there with us. I was chatting with one of your friends here, the panelists who are through the political scene. When they were there, they seemed not to be in agreement on several things. Yeah. But when they came here and they said, we need to take a selfie, I say, nah, that phone is enhancing their relationship. It's not hurting their relationship.
They are connected.
They are connecting. But you see, if they live here and they're talking to their followers, it's a different ballgame altogether. You'll be amazed of some of the toxicity people are communicating as a result of having access to a phone. Yeah.
And Jen, that brings me to the question of quality time. You know, what really is quality time? Because some people will say that, you know, just being there at home in silence, as long as your partner is just seeing you there, you're not talking, you just being there, you know, seeing them walk around or just doing 1, 2, 3. But you'd find that sometimes you're doing that, but each of you is on the phone. You know, you're not really just enhancing that communication, telling somebody, by the way, you know, we haven't gone on a date for a very long time. We haven't done this for a very long time. That conversation is not really there. So what does quality time really mean in the context of, you know, people who have agreed to live together and do forever, ever after, whatever forever looks like?
Okay. Yeah. I think that is one of the factors. For example, like a couple or people who have agreed to live together, even at place of work, you need to create quality time. And quality time is when you set time aside. You know, you say, for example, from this time to this time, or maybe we just agree. It doesn't have to even to be on paper that every day at 8 to 9 we shall be doing this. However, you need to agree that you need time to converse together. I need to give you my hearing, because somebody can say, I'm hearing you, and they are on the phone. But the thing is, quality time is when you are there physically and emotionally. You need to be present. So present is when you're giving active listening. You're doing active listening. So I'm listening to you. I'm able to capture everything that you say, so that even in response, because response is guided by what I've heard. But now if you're talking and I'm on my phone, and you know what is shocking is social media keep on dropping things, you know, and that is why you can see you're talking to somebody, then all of a sudden they are laughing, others are shocked, and you're like, so what has happened? You see, they keep on developing different emotions depending on what they are seeing. But now quality time is when you put those gadgets aside, is when I put everything else aside and give you my time. I give you my ears, I give you my eyes, because you should be able, when it comes to active listening, I should be able even to watch your body language. So that I'm able to capture everything. Because human being has this thing of, they have the ability to express themselves in everything they do. You know, the way you move your body, the way you move your eyes, those expressions are very, very key when it comes to quality time with the person. Yeah.
And, you know, Richard, we often accuse these kids and, you know, teenagers of being quite addicted to their phones and this screen time. But would you say that about adults as well? Because we're seeing a lot of, you know, cell phone usage nowadays. And the people that you interact with, especially couples who come to you for, you know, counseling, is it an emerging issue in their relationships when they say that maybe, you know, my partner doesn't even give me time, they're constantly on their phone? And we know that social media is also rising. We're going for clicks, for, you know, likes, and just for interacting with people online. Is this something that is a challenge for adults as well?
Yeah, thank you. I agree. Just like Jen, my fellow panelists have said, I think there's a gift of presence you owe to everyone that you're involved with. And if you take that away from any relationship, then that relationship is dying slow but surely. Children are given gadgets by the parents. And the same is true, spouses buy gadgets to each other. We keep on upgrading, and you discover that, hey, these days I rarely have time to really genuinely connect with my spouse. Sit back, be laid back, not being in a place where I'm talking to everyone else except the person that is with me in the relationship. You're talking to everyone else for that length of time except your spouse. I think it requires a certain measure of discipline and commitment to free yourself from all these temptations that are surrounding us with this gadget. You have an iPad here, you have a phone here, you have all these other family members, each one hosting a laptop, the other one is on these different gadgets. But I think in my observation and experience, technology keeps on improving. But in its ability to improve, it's giving us too many options that are changing the cultural scene concerning relationships. When we started way back, all we had was Facebook. But today, TikTok, Instagram,
we had Katululus.
I'm telling you, we have so many options, and all these options, on average, you have about 1,000 relationships plugged in there. And on your timeline, if your internet is on Wi-Fi or data, you always have constant feeds that are sending you notifications that will distract you from being present in the relationship you genuinely love and care for, your spouse or your children. So if you're going to have meals, I would admonish, which I do at home, have your meals early. That's at 7. Between 7 and 8 and 9, no phones, no use of gadgets. Have your meals together, put them away, talk to each other. That will be a great investment in your spouse and your children. And your children, in turn, will not keep on saying, hey, these days, Mom is more interested in the phone than us, or Dad is always locked up in his iPad or laptop than us. Then, in turn, they will also find a way they obsess about that tool you constantly host. Say, what is in this? Have you seen kids throwing tantrums as a result of taking away the phone from them?
Yeah.
They're things we ignore, but children learn by example and demonstration.
Very true.
If they've been able to observe you constantly, when you come, you readily let go of your phone. You readily let go of your iPad or laptop. So they also obsess about possessing one. That's why some throw a fit if they do not have a phone. And take it away, they will begin to dismantle and crush everything within the house. So is the phone hurting your relationship? Is it causing pain? You need to interrogate and have an investigation around your own self and have that conversation behind the scene. How much do I give myself to the use of my phone? Do I switch off the data? Do I switch off the internet? How often do I literally switch off my phone? I tell people, hey, you cannot call me past 9, period. I switch off my phone, I busy it out, you cannot catch me, and I go to sleep. Because it's disrupting even the sleeping patterns for adults. Forget about the little kids.
Very true. Very correct.
Yeah.
Insomnia.
Yeah.
So how would you know that your relationship is hurting in this case? Because sometimes, you'll just be addicted to your phone. Of course, whether knowingly or unknowingly, because sometimes addicts don't really know they're addicts.
And they don't admit.
They don't admit that they're addicted. But now how do we actually know that, I'm getting to a point where this constant usage of my phone, when I'm, constantly on TikTok lives, I see a lot of people on TikTok lives nowadays, you say that I'm getting to a point where my relationship is now hurting. We are not compatible anymore, mentally, physically, sexually, and every other way. How do we know that you're getting to that point?
Yeah, I think it is very, very important for us to note that these gadgets messes up the communication skills. Because you see, as long as I know I'm coming here for an interview and I'll have to talk, there's a way, you position yourself. And so is at home. If I know I'm going to meet my boyfriend, my husband, and we'll do a conversation, there is a way I want to position myself. Just like even GPT, as you called it, it is also messing us in the sense that when I'm going to add exam, like those days we had to really do source information from the books after books. But nowadays we just go there, a click of a button, you have your results. And so you see now when everything has been made so easy and you realize that every communication you do, it's always on phone. Like somebody will tell you, I have not gone to visit my parents for the last 1 year, but you've been talking on phone. I send them money. So you realize that everything now is being reduced to, and so how you realize that actually the gadget is interfering with your life is when you start realizing there is that disconnect, the disconnect between you and your children, the disconnect between you and your wife or your friend, and whatever communication you do, you don't go to meet them physically. You're always doing it over the phone. And so you realize that it's such a distractor, such that when now you present yourself in person, you want to take the shortest time possible because you don't even have anything to say. You're very active on phone and you can say so much on phone, but when you meet physically, you cannot even keep the eye contact, which is very, very, very important. And especially for people who are in relationship, it is very easy to know somebody who is cheating on you, somebody who is not telling you the truth when you see them face to face. Because people are very powerful when it comes to message. You remember those letters? During our time when we were in school, guys would write letters. And Nakwambia, you're the only bean in my githeri. But now when it comes to telling that person on the face that you're the only bean, you can even see the laughter. They're actually enjoying. Yes, they're actually enjoying you. And so it is unfortunate that phones are actually hurting, even in the sense that some people would write message, then they even forget to rub it to their friend. And so when the other party come, they are very concerned. Nini unafanyanga kwa simu? What do you do on phone every other time? So I'll get concerned when my husband cannot talk to me, but they are always on phone. And so people become suspicious. When you're gone, I want to see what you've been doing. But if only we had set our time, just like my colleague has said, if only we've agreed and we have set boundaries, that once we get home, or for example, if we are relating, especially for guys who are in that stage of trying to work out something, encourage meeting. Imambo ya simu, discourage it. Only use it to confirm our meeting, that how are you, so how did you wake up, or we are still meeting in the evening. So that people can also become bold, so that people can also become remorseful. If you have hurt me, wacha kuniambia sorry kwa simu. Be that bold man. And so, or be that bold woman who can actually face your own challenges. You even don't want to face your own challenges. And so you hide, you hide behind, that phone. So let us face the situations. Let us agree to say sorry. Let us face our children. And the most unfortunate thing, just like my colleague has said, that use of phone will even not make you realize, even when things are changing. When your children are not performing, when your child, the behavior is not right, just because you're always on phone. And you're being incited. Even marriages are actually breaking because you're incited over the phone. You saw somebody has taken a photo in some place and they're saying, this is my house. And you're busy giving your husband pressure. I need this kind of a seat. Or your wife, you need to look like Nani. Surely.
Social media pressure.
Exactly.
Is it a contributing factor to, you know, relationships being hurt, and in the context of a phone now? Would we say social media, of course it's evolving, we're seeing a lot of it. Right now we are very active on TikTok, which is booming very well. Is it a contributing factor to this, you know, hurting relationships, the phone now?
Of course it is, because you see, like, even you young people, somebody is likely to compare you with, why don't you put your makeup like, why don't you do like, if it is like, see, when they work, just get that person, because it seems that you really like that other person. And you know, most of these people, they are not real. Yeah, they are also hiding their weaknesses behind that dressing, behind, they were just trying a dress in the whatever, in a shop, and they just took a shot. And you know, you're so challenged by that. So some of these things that are challenging us, they are so unnecessary. I want a person to come and present themselves and say what they have to say. But this issue of, oh, you're posing this way, Mara, you went and bought some things that give you some shape. You know, what is happening in counseling world is where you get shocked. Somebody is so unreal, from the head, you know, from the crown of the head to the sole of the feet. They are so fake. So the phone is actually showing you this a perfect person. Watch it, they come to you in person. Because people are actually in research. And you want to see this person who appeared in this makeup, who appeared dressed this way. And then now you agree for a meeting. And now come natural. I'm telling you, that person, it will be a shocker. And that person will take off. So you can see how phone is hurting. You were the relationship was so promising. We had gone a few strides. But just because now you have seen the natural me, now you want to retreat. So you can see. It will leave you emotionally hurt, and so is me. So both of us are hurting. So you think you're hurting me, but as we say in our language, you who is running, if I'm running after you, this is what tutahema. All right. We both tire.
Let me just invite our viewer to be part of this conversation. You know, on our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook, and on YouTube on X, TV47 News KE. You can tag me as well if you're watching at @Ann_Dida, and there is a number on your screen. Call in. The counselors and psychologists are here, of course, to, you know, to give you answers in case you have been left before because of your phone, or if you've left somebody because of, you know, constant use of their phone. Interact with us and tell us if you have. But Richard, what are these telltale signs? You know, we say that some people who are addicted don't really admit that they're addicted, or maybe they don't know they're addicted. But what are the telltale signs that, you know, somebody is getting, you know, addicted to their phone? Jane here talked about sometimes the quality of communication could be hindered in some sort of way, especially with the partners. But these signs that could now make me, as somebody who is addicted to my phone, know that, no, I'm doing badly in terms of communication, and I'm addicted to my phone.
Thank you, Ann. Trust is the foundation for all healthy relationships, and you cannot overemphasize that. If you're always edgy about your phone, you're always in a place of flight for your spouse not to access your phone, or your children even to touch your phone, that is one significant way to know I have a problem with these tools. These tools cannot substitute the relationship you have with your spouse, nor your children. If you're always in a flight mode to guard and protect your phone, maybe you have a problem right there. If you sit under any plate of food and the first premonition is take a photo of your food than to eat the food, that is a good highlight. You have a
that
problem
one will hit many.
all social media problems. And it's ridiculous to note, because if you're born with the advent of this technology, especially Gen Z, the pressure is way too high. I was seeing this ongoing thing I was trying to describe to you, and I told you, after this show, with your high heels, you're going to stand on top of that camera. I'm seeing people doing ridiculous things, standing on dumbbells, standing on kettles, plates, what? because of high heels. So you're also in the sitting room, putting plates and all these utensils, and you try to mimic that. There is a problem if you're trying to catch up with the trendy things that are happening on all Instagram, on Twitter, on all this TikTok. There's too much competing for your attention. If you find yourself in your wardrobe on a constant, you're trying on this top and taking a selfie, you have a problem. A huge problem.
What happened to documenting?
If you're in an exhibition for shoes, and you're trying on this shoe and you're taking this one, you at the airport, sometimes you're not even, I find myself too many times when I'm traveling, that I find people who wannabes flocking the airport, not that they're picking anyone or that they're going anywhere. But they're at the airport to say checked in, and you're not checking to go anywhere. But because there's a pressure on those who follow you, and they're like, hey, this man who's constantly traveling, where is he coming from, or where is he going to? You just know you have a problem. The reality is, no one is going to give you a correct diagnosis whether you have a problem. If you have a phone, and you wake up and the first thing you grab is your phone. You're not even to kiss your wife, you have a big problem, right? You don't need anyone to tell you that. You have a big problem. But the reality is, the phone is not the problem. You need to navigate yourself, interrogate yourself, do an internal audit of yourself. My response and stimulus to this tool, is it enhancing the quality of the relationships around me? Because if you're hiding money, because we're using it for too many, I do a lot of internet banking, but if I'm borrowing money from Kopo, which is this?
Tala, Ranch.
All these things I'm doing, and I'm borrowing and then sending the money to other people than bringing home to work, to enhance the quality of the relationship you have. And you will not allow your wife to touch my phone. Every time you on a point here, achana na simu yangu there's a problem right there. The phone is not a problem. But if the phone is what is causing the hurt and inflicting pain to your wife, your children, your extended family members, there's a huge problem you need to redress right there.
Jen, when does it get to that point when our partners or one of the partners are addicted to phones? Because, you know, it doesn't always start like that. You know, sometimes it's all love bombing, you're all lovey-dovey, or, you know, bubbly, things are rosy at the beginning of the relationship. But then it gets to a point where now communication, quality time becomes a challenge. At what point does it get to that point where you cannot even stand one another?
Yeah, basically what happens is that as you continue living together as partners, there's a way you get used to each other, you know. And so most of the time when you get used to each other, it's like she's not providing everything or he's not providing everything. And of course you start now turning to your phone, you know. And especially like now, this generation feel like the phone has all solutions, you know. AI has all solutions. So in the process of going to seek for that solution, you find yourself getting hooked because everything, they say that a long journey starts just with one step, you know. And so what will happen is that you keep on ignoring, like what my colleague has said, there's some culture that you must set up in your own family, in your own marriage, because cultures are set. This is not just necessarily Maasai culture. No. It's about the family culture. Like what he said, that you can agree that you eat at 7, then from there you can stay together as a family. It's a time to air your issues. So even you as partners, you must agree. You know, you must agree that even though we are not talking, even though you hurt me in the morning, that should not be the basis of you turning to your phone. And I think it is easier right now, even to grow more apart, unlike before, because there was nothing to keep you busy, even in bed. People are getting to bed with their phone. So you're busy turning, before you know it, you're seeing some light somewhere. Somebody is on phone in wee hours of the night, you know. So by the time they are waking up, they are very tired. So the usual activity, you know, I like what my husband says, that bed, ni ya kulala. Don't bring other activities in bed, you know. Kitanda ni ya kulala. Kitchen, you know. It is good to respect some of these very spaces where we're supposed to be doing our things. So it is, for a couple, it is very, very important for you, even if you have a problem, take time to resolve that problem. Don't comfort yourself with the phone. You know the way like you'll hurt a child and then she'll go to a certain corner and start licking the thumb, you know, is a sign that that kid is hurting. And so even some of us, that is what we are doing. You are hurting, but instead of telling the person that you are hurting, that, and yeah, you hurt me on this area, you take your phone and become your solace. In the process of taking it as your solace, you find there's a girl who is trying to tell you, oh, you know what? And so you take that talk to another level just because you are not even getting along with your partner. And so before you know it, you're drawing that way, and I'm also drawing the other side. And before you know it, for sure, you have gone completely apart. Yeah.
All right, we have a call. David Miner from Nakuru. Good morning, David. David? We lost him? David? All right, we lost him. But Richard, now where is the line between normal phone use and digital intrusion? Now that you're talking about sometimes checking your partner's phone, where does it now get to a point where somebody is now crossing the line when they come to check your phone? You're using your phone, your partner wants to get access to it. At what point should there be a boundary of or shouldn't there be a boundary when you're talking about marriage, couples who are doing forever after? What is the boundary and where does one now cross the line?
Thank you, Anne. I think it's like your ID. It's personal. Even the phone is personal. There's a sense of privacy that you protect and make use of your ID, the same way it is with the phone. I find it very personal, and it shouldn't be that intrusive. And anyone should respect that privacy someone has in their phone. However, if it is that private, because today there's too much content we access through our phone usage, to one is locked in pornographic material on the phone. In the guise of saying, wachana na simu yangu. But what is that you're watching constantly that you don't want me to access your phone? Neither the children cannot touch your phone. What communication or mshene uko nayo hapo ndani ya simu that you don't want me to access it? There's a place where that is not healthy. Yet another could be on the other quadrant of the same phone and is reading e-books, or is typing a message with notes of something he's working on in a book. It could be a lot of things you're doing with your phone. There's a place where you need to create a balance. But where you draw the boundary line is if someone has to dog you everywhere by planting things, downloading apps to track where you go, who you're with, who you're talking to, you just know that person is sick. There's something that is very unhealthy about that. If you make a call, even if you're talking to your mother or you're talking to your sister, and the gentleman or the person you're dating or courting or your spouse is very uncomfortable, who are you talking to? He has to grab your phone and say, I need to confirm. To check the call logs. You just know, hey, this is not right. It's just not healthy. It's not the phone. The problem, the gentleman has a problem or the lady has a problem. So there's a place where you draw a healthy boundary. You see your children are they're constantly locked up in these tools. You can distract them. There's a way you can technically do it. Yesterday I was going to wash my car and I told him, I use my phone to work out. I do 10,000 steps every day. So what I do, if I'm going to be actively running around and working out in different mobility, I know the phone will fall in water. So I told him, I'm giving you an assignment. Do 10,000 steps as you would see the same one who was in the phone, locked up in it, now is using it for something else. As they are jumping around the house, running around the house. Of course, I'm doing the workout outside, but matches up with what he's doing. By the time I came back, they're all tired. They don't want even to sit around TV. They want to sleep. You can find creative ways to break the pattern, and I double guarantee you can draw some lines of boundary. If it is your spouse and you know that this is not healthy, create some timelines with which you make certain calls. If it's going to eat into the time when you should be engaging into conversation with your wife, honestly, you've had a long day apart from each other. Why would you get home and the first thing you do is grab the phone? Draw a boundary line and say, hey, call me at this time. During this time, please don't call. Even if you call, I don't pick. I see calls, I see messages coming in. I say, those ones I won't pick. And she's like, for real? I'm like, yeah, you're more important than any of these people. So you won't massage the feet of your wife if you're constantly massaging the phone. Simple as that.
Right.
You won't be able to oil your wife's hair or your girlfriend's hair or your daughter's hair if you're constantly massaging the phone. Draw some parameters, and I think one of the healthiest investments you can ever do for yourself, guard that time when you've just come back home. It is very limited, but very special. Remember, in the morning, everyone rises up to go to school, to go to work. So when you're coming back home, you have a very limited time before children pass out to go to bed. And some of us will sleep early. We will have a very limited time also to spend with us.
Yeah.
You get it? So protect that, draw that boundary. It will help you.
All right, Jen, what do you think of sharing passwords and pins? Still on that line that Ziwa is talking about, how does it get to a point where it becomes now insecurity and now mistrust is built? And do you think it's a good thing for partners to have each other's passwords and pins?
Well, I think there is no problem. Anything a couple can agree on, it can work out. Because you plan something on basis of something. It is interesting when people just get married, or when the relationship has just become very hot. You can access everything about me, and I can access everything about you.
Yeah.
But a time comes when you start drawing boundaries, when you start getting used to each other. We are sharing password, we are sharing bank account, but all of a sudden there's a bit of mistrust. Or you have started looking elsewhere. I've started looking elsewhere. And so this is now where the problem comes in. But just like my colleague is saying, if you keep on massaging my feet, I'll keep telling myself, wow, I'm still the same girl that he met. And if I keep doing what I always did to him, there's nothing, I'll not nurture his insecurities. Because why people are doing the things they are doing, why I want to check his phone immediately he comes, is because I'm experiencing insecurities. For example, like personally, and my husband, I leave my phone there. Yeah, he leaves his there. But interestingly, even if it rang, I'm not even bothered to keep checking, oh, uni nani, and why are they calling? I have given him a room because I know he's also supposed to operate with women as well as men. And he also respects my space. So when you enter to space and you help people, you need to know the insecurities that your partner is experiencing, even from the onset. When you're relating, everybody have their own insecurities. But if those insecurities are addressed, you realize that I'll not have problems. I'm not challenged by girls out there. Such that if I find my husband with a lady there, I'm just thinking he's just tuning her. When he has nothing else to do. At now when I'm with him, the only thing you're thinking is, you need to take care of your insecurities. And I need to take care of your insecurities. And I think we need to sensitize each other. And I know as the relationship continue going, and especially when we women give birth, sometimes we think we are not good enough. But I think it is unfortunate. It is the work of our husbands. It is my work as a wife to keep on assuring him, because stuff happens, not just to ladies, So you need to know that that big tummy has come as a result of something very good. You can work toward it. It may never go back completely. But even if it didn't go, it's not just the tummy that he loved, that you keep on focusing there, So we have to keep on assuring our partners and addressing insecurities as they rise. Yeah, don't wait. Naona tu hata ujiamini siku hizi. Kwa nini sijiamini? So as he said, sometimes we are the people who are nurturing the insecurities of our partner. And so we cause them to react. So I think we need to keep on reassuring them. Also, don't run with your phone to the toilet. If you're running, if, for example, it's an official call, you will go. Like even him, when he doesn't pick the phone, by the way, it can also be a trigger. Oh, nakata kuchukua because I am here.
You're cheating.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes that can be the reason. I don't want to respond just because when I respond, italeta shida hapa. Unaona? But it can be genuine, as he's putting it. After this time, every other message, I'll answer to it tomorrow. Because even some of these messages that you answer at the wee hours of the night, they can also trigger insomnia. Utakosa kulala. Utakuwa ulivutwa kazi. Pesa yako imeibiwa, like nowadays money is really going.
Somebody's sick.
Let them steal it in the night, but let me sleep, then you can see that it was stolen in the morning. But let me sleep. So we must do that which we have to do, because you see now when you have created anxiety in you, you cannot be able to attend to him. He cannot attend to me. So that now bed become a nightmare. So you have to do, respect spaces, as I said earlier. If it is home, please respect your home, respect your partner, because that person that you're yearning to talk to out there, they're not interested with you. Ile tu kukufurahisha kidogo. And then you give them all your time. But the main person is here with you. Yeah. So
I love that is sad reality.
I mean, it is true. The main person is here with you. They approved you, they got you out of market. Wakakuleta kwa nyumba.
Interesting. And I was listening to a certain relationship expert and coach, Nziwa. He was talking about one of the most dangerous threats to a marriage is a cell phone. How true is that?
That could be true, also, but not be true. Just a quick one. What Jen has mentioned, where you give access to each other's phones.
Yeah.
That could be bearing if there are things you do outside the context of your primary relationship that are not healthy for your relationship, and your spouse jumps onto that conversation. So
is it everyone who does that who gets him think that maybe are triggering to the other partner?
Because the reality is, trust is not voluntarily given. It must be earned. And as much as you're dating and courting and giving each other passwords, I'm not really for that. That place of access to certain passwords and codes,
you're against it,
is when you're in covenant relationship with someone for life. Even when you're in covenant relationship for life, if your spouse has exhibited a demonstrated behavioral pattern which are inconsistent with being accountable and responsible, block it. For fear you'll be wiped clean. And you will not owe you an apology about it. The reason why I said I've counseled people who are hurting as a result of having passed on the password to the spouse, and the spouse is not responsible. It's not accountable in matters finances. Then wiped all the money clean. You're left without anything to work with as a family. Even you can't meet your personal needs, neither the needs of the family, and is not going to be responsible for those needs. So somehow it puts in a precarious place. So I think you must earn the trust to have access to the password. My wife knows my password. My kids know my passwords. However, there are certain things that should be agreed upon. If in an abusive, toxic relationship, you're dealing with an narcissistic individual, there are certain things you need to draw a boundary upon. Don't pass on your password voluntarily. It must be earned and negotiated upon. But when it says that the phone can be an end to a relationship, yeah. There are things men view on those phones called pornographic material. And you think you're the best there is. And this man is viewing other things that are totally against what you thought it ought to be. Someone else that would be bearing as like, I can't stick with this guy. It could be gay relationship. There are too many things that are in there. The woman is like, no, I'm done. So that relationship is dead.
It's dead.
I've seen another relationship on the other day. This gentleman is dealing with 6 women, all simultaneously, but married one. But all of them thought they are going to
get married.
But one got to discover what is happening on that line. So jumped on the occasion and married the man and went and signed the documentation. All the other 6, kwisha. So the phone can end your relationship.
All right. Thank you so much. That is Jane Gitawe, psychologist, and Richard Ziwa Zimbalist, a counselor. And of course, my takeaway is that boundaries in a relationship are created as person to person and not as a culture.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for making time. That brings us to the end of this conversation. We're talking about, is your phone hurting your relationship? We can continue this conversation on our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook, TV47 News KE on X. You can tag me as well at @Ann_Dida, so that of course I can sample your comments. Maybe next week on this segment once again. You're watching Morning Cafe. My name is Ann Odida. Good morning.